What's up guys, this is Base Brawler, and this video is going to be for people who haven't read my manga but are interested in knowing what I'm talking about, what I'm talking about when I mention it. So in this video, I'm going to explain volumes 1 and 2 of the Power Level Warrior manga in hopefully less than 10 minutes. If it goes over, then, oh, I apologize. And you'll probably already know because you can see the length of the video. But without wasting any time, let's get into it. So, I'm going to go over a backstory that's actually not in chapter 1 of the manga, but you guys are probably going to like it that I'm telling you this. I'll probably put it on a blog post at some point, but until then, I'll just give it to you guys now. So, Rice, Ricette, and Mirror are from a different universe. They're from Universe 6. Well, they were born there. They were sent to Universe 3 when they were babies. As they were babies, once they landed on planet Earth of Universe 3, they were separated as, well, babies. Mirror went off to become a, what's it called, a nomad in the jungles. Ricette grew up with a rich family that accepted her and loved her because she was a girl mainly. And Rice grew up with a farmer by the name of Tenji, who trained him how to fight and never told him what girls were. Yeah. So, let's skip forward to pre-Power Level Warrior 1. So, Rice and Mirror eventually join the tournament, and Rice bests Mirror at first but loses because Mirror was threatened to be killed if he didn't win the tournament. And he told Rice about this, so Rice in a way let him win. Then afterward, Mirror lost to a different opponent, and Ricette beat Mirror and won the tournament for the third time in a row, because Ricette was one of the strongest fighters at the time. Then afterward, they had another tournament the year after. In this tournament, Rice and Ricette made it to the finals. Rice defeated Ricette by throwing her outside of the ring, and he told her that she was cheating because he allegedly thought that she was hiding something in her breasts that caused her to, win. Which doesn't make any sense at first, but hey, nothing makes sense in Rice's mind, so yeah. Anyway, let's skip a little bit forward to Power Level Warrior 1. So basically, Rice gets confronted by these monks. These monks basically threaten him and his family, and Rice has no other choice but to find out how to get stronger to defeat these monks. He ends up finding a guy named Guachen who teaches him the Kaioken, sorry, I mean overcharge. After Rice learns the overcharge, Rice is then sent to defeat the monks. One of the monks overpowers him and tells him that he's going to kill everyone on Earth and pretty much destroy the planet as well with it, because there's a stronger threat coming that Rice doesn't know about. Rice doesn't believe him and ends up transforming into Sage form, because Sage form is achieved once you are in dire need of a defense and protecting yourself and those around you. Therefore, Rice becomes Sage form. After achieving Sage form, Rice defeats the Master Monk and gets confronted by Mirror, who also has Sage form from achieving Golden crystals in the mountain near Rice's village. After that, they fight for a bit. Rice wins, and Mirror goes, I will help you, please spare me, I can help you fight the Mystics. The Mystic clan is stronger than the monks and actually took over a monk temple that Mirror was with, how do I say this? He was raised with a monk that gave him his name, which is of course Mirror. He got it by looking in the mirror and going, what is this? How come I can see myself? And was told, that's a mirror. And Mirror's like, oh. And then the person asked, what's your name, Mirror? Mirror's like, I don't know, I don't have a name. I guess I'll be named Mirror. And, well, that's where he got his name, just in case you were wondering. So, let's continue. So, Rice and Mirror fend off against the Mystics, and spoiler alert, they win. So afterward, Mirror senses a strong presence that he only sensed once before as a child. which is the Ninja Chakra Clan. So Rice asks, or sorry, got that mixed up. Mirror asks Rice to go look in the forest for golden crystals. Rice ends up finding something else, something more important, Ricette. After that, Ricette tells Rice, "What are you doing here? I haven't seen you in a while." And she wasn't expecting him. And Rice goes, "Oh, I'm looking for crystals. Do you have any?" And she goes, "I don't care about that. You defeated me in the tournament. I don't really like you." And Rice is like, "What?" And so he goes, "Well, dang it, I forgot what happens here. Oh yeah. So Ricette tells him that she's going to beat him up and kill him. And Rice goes, "Wait, we can change this." And she goes, "You should have thought about that at the tournament before you defeated me." And he's like, "Are you serious?" Ricette transforms into Sage Form 2. Then Ricette defeats Rice easily, and when she's about to kill him, Rice goes, "Wait, I can help you defeat the Ninja Clan." And she's like, "Whatever." But then Rice offers her, or gives her an offer she can't refuse. If she defeats the Ninja Clan, she will get all the credit for it. So she accepts and defeats the Ninja Clan. Then afterward, she helps Rice and Mirror learn Sage Form 2 by taking them to Sinuba and Parrot, who are pretty much the Whis and Beerus of Power Level Warrior. They agree to do so, but only if they get more golden crystals, and he needs a special offering. Well, Rice is easily willing to give up his tournament badge, or belt, to do so. Afterward, Rice and Mirror fight a little more enemies, and they eventually end up meeting the soldiers, who aren't very happy with what's going on Earth. So, let's skip forward a bit, because the plot doesn't get too interesting after this. But basically, Mirror gets taken over by a monk, an evil monk, that causes him to reach legendary sage form. Rice reaches legendary sage form as well, and fights with Mirror, until Mirror knocks him out of legendary sage form, and Rice has no other choice but to use an element bomb. Afterward, Mirror gets cleansed of his thing, but it was still his body that caused the wrongdoing on Earth. Therefore, Mirror was told that he had to go to prison. Alright, we got Power Level Warrior 1 out of the way. Not sure how long this is, but let's start with 2. So, Rice sets off to, do some things for Tenji, but he ends up coming across the king. The king is not very happy about what is going on Earth, as much as the soldiers were, because the king wanted the glory of defeating those people, because, well, they rebelled against the king after finding out that the king wasn't strong enough to protect their people. Therefore, they refused to continue bargaining with the king, and basically left the kingdom for dead. So the king decided to take Earth as a refuge for his kingdom. Rice wasn't very happy about this, and decided to use legendary sage form to attempt to defeat the king. Well, Rice got owned, basically. So afterward, Rice goes to Ricette and warns her about what's happening. She decides they need to train, so they meet a scientist who who creates special robots for them that allow their power levels to reach the same power levels as the user training using them. So Ricette and Rice train with that, and Rice eventually teaches Ricette the overcharge. Afterward, they go on a little quote-unquote date, and Rice and Ricette finally realize why they were meant for each other. And that is because they both enjoy fighting, they both enjoy caring for each other, and they're both sages. Which, in case you guys don't know, sages share a very strong bond with each other. Whether they're the same gender or not, they will care for each other regardless, in that sense. But anyway, let's continue moving on. So, Ariel and Alan try to kill Mirror in the prison because they realize that he is a very powerful threat. Rysette and Rice go in to save him and basically tell him, well, you can't help us until your time is up. Until you've done your time. Mirror gets pissed and is like, oh, okay. I just wait till I get out. And that's not a threat either. He's just, kind of pissed that he has to stay in prison while they're having all the fun. But anyway, let's continue. So Rice and Rysette end up fighting the henchmen, basically. They're threatening Earth, blah, blah, blah. Not that interesting. I would talk about the filler, but I'd rather just skip it. So basically, they come across the prince, who tells Rysette, marry me or die, basically. Because the king is going to kill you, and I can help stop the king if you marry me. Rysette's like, nah, boy, I already got my boy Rice, who looking cute in that, collar. That's kind of gay, but, yeah. And so the prince is like, nope. So they train more, Rice and Rysette, to try and stop the prince, because they obviously see that he's a threat now. And the prince ends up showing them his beast form. Afterward, Rice gets pwned, basically. He doesn't get killed, but he gets knocked out to a sense where he has to be, not revived, but awoken by a spirit. And that spirit ends up being a demon. But I'll get to that later. So Rysette finds out about this, and the prince basically tells her, you're not strong enough to stop me. You need to get stronger if you want to stop me. And Rice is like, nope, you're joking, you're lying. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. Rysette realizes this, and understands what he's saying, but she doesn't fathom the fact that she's about to die, and she's not very appeased by it. It doesn't really sit well with her. So what does she do? She unlocks her full potential and sends an energy wave at him, causing him to die. Actually, sorry, I take that back. He doesn't quote-unquote die, but he does get defeated. So after that, there's a little scene where Rice is with a demon. The demon trains him how to use his rage form and turn his rage into power. A couple months pass by, actually weeks, sorry, and Risotto shows up. Now you guys may be like, wait a minute, you were talking about Rice and now you're saying Risotto. We're assuming that you were thinking that Risotto was Rice, or Rice was Risotto. What happened? Well, Rice is basically Risotto from another universe. So yeah, that clears that up a little bit in case you guys think I'm mixing them up. So yeah, I got it correct. Rice is from a different universe than Risotto. So Risotto shows up and decides to challenge the prince, who wants to make up for the mistake that his brother made. So Rice decides, hey, maybe I should, investigate this. Turns out Rice goes up and finds the prince instead. Let's get back to Risotto. So Risotto sees Rysette, and Rysette is excited because she senses the same exact key as with Rice. Because again, Risotto and Rice are the same people, but from different universes. So Rysette goes up to Risotto, thinking that he's Rice, and goes, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. What do you say, we Netflix and chill? Well, not like that. It was more of a, sexual thing, but I'll kind of skim past that. And he goes, hey, I don't know who this Rice is, but don't be talking to me like that. And she starts crying because she thinks it's Rice, and she thinks that, he doesn't want anything to do with her anymore. Because again, sages have a very strong connection with each other. If they're not together, well, aside from maybe an exception of Mirror, they're pretty much in a weird, awkward state. So then they end up finding Rice, but he's in a frozen river because they were interrogating him, asking for the golden crystals, and Rice refused. So here's what happens afterwards. The royal family escapes back to their home planet, which is planet Xersha, the planet that got destroyed by the witch, quote-unquote witch. So here's what happens after that. Rice, Ricette, and Risotto set off to stop the witch, or not the witch, sorry, to stop the king. And Rice fights the king, Risotto fights the brothers, and Ricette fights a royal guardianess. Ricette is successful, Risotto is half successful, and Rice is not successful. Then Ricette comes in, like, hey, I'm gonna save you, Rice. She gets beat up, and Rice achieves his rage form. Because he's like, hey, you ain't touching my bae. Don't be like that. Get out of here with that shit. I don't know. YouTube, please don't demonetize this video. It's only one word. So then after that, they go up to and confront the king again. The king basically defeats them all. He says that his children can be revived as long as he's alive, and he can put up a shield. So here's what happens afterward. The king defeats all of them. Ricette is the last one standing. He defeats Ricette too, and Ricette starts crying because the king threatens to, well, torture her, basically. And there's two portions to this. There's two versions. They're both canon equally, because they both kind of are horrible things that happen to her. But if you want scenario A, Ricette gets tortured. You know, well, she gets threatened to be tortured. If you want scenario B, basically she gets raped. Or he threatens to rape her. So this causes Rice to get angry, but again, he turns his anger into power. But he doesn't use that power for himself. He shares it with Ricette, and Ricette achieves spirit form. She now knows how to unlock the full potential of spirit form. But not to its strongest. Just to its, you know, perfected state. But anyway, let's continue. So Ricette defeats the king. Then the witch shows up and's like, hey, the party's not over. I was invited a few hours ago. Now it's time for me to have some fun. So basically, they get wrecked by the witch. Ricette and Rice go back to get stronger, while Risotto holds her off. She then reveals that she was raped by the prince as a little girl. And so Rice is like, or Risotto's like, who cares? You need to forget about the past and just move on, without realizing that she has a dark spirit inside her, and she really does. She does not like what happened, but she doesn't care for it as much. So then Rice and Ricette return. They're a lot stronger. They both fight the witch. They all lose. Then Risotto is like, hey, it's my turn to, you know, get a power up. So he goes to train with Parrot and Sinuba of Universe 3, even though he's from Universe 11. Then he goes in a time machine, but right before he leaves, the witch kills both Sinuba and Parrot. Yeah, she kills god-tier characters as a mortal. Crazy, isn't it? Cough, the Tournament of Power cough. Anyway, so then afterward, they defeat the witch with an element bomb. Mirror is like, hey, this girl actually has some good in her. Will this element bomb kill her? And then Rice reminds him, well, the element bomb didn't kill you. And not only that, but it's meant to just take out the dark, evil spirits. So if you're right, and she does have good in her, she won't die. So Mira's like, okay, I'll give you some energy too. So they defeat the witch, and what do you know? The witch turns out to be a good character, after all. So then Mira's like, hey, we're gonna have to take you back to our home planet because, you know, you're kinda, you know, messed up, and we might need to, you know, heal you a bit, because even though you're not dead, that element bomb did quite some damage. So the witch goes, you know what? I don't believe you. And she goes, how do I trust you? And he goes, because I'm the one who recommended these guys to spare you, even though you would have been spared either way. But he recommended it and just wanted to make sure. So then he's like, may I be of your acquaintance, Princess Celestia? And she goes, Celestia is my princess name. My real name is Mista, and I prefer it. While blushing, she's in love, basically. So Mirror's like, oh, well, that solves everything. And then, at the end of the Power Level Warrior 2 manga, Rice and Ricette train to achieve, you guessed it, calm and spirit evolution. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah, if for those of you guys who haven't read the manga, this is a basic breakdown of it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you can see, I'm upgrading Rosato. Rosato is still the main character of Power Level Warrior, but it starts off with Rice, if that makes sense. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you all in the next one, whenever that may be.